Today we are in Place Vendôme at the epicenter of French watchmaking luxury, where you will find big names like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Bregei, among others. And we are going to see if I can get in one of those exclusive boutiques wearing a $20 Casio. And if I do get in, how will I be treated? Many of you asked these questions in the comments. Let's see how it happens in real life. Let's go.
All right, guys, buckle up because in the next few seconds, we're diving into one of the most chaotic, eye-opening, and downright hilarious watch shopping experiences I've ever seen. And this guy, he walks into Patek, a Bregei, and Rolex, and he's wearing a $20 Casio, mind you. And trust me, the reactions he got were gold. Some boutiques treated him like royalty, and others, well, let's just say Rolex acted like their display models were radioactive. I'm breaking down what these reactions and really like what they say about the state of the luxury watch culture. And in addition to that, the pros and the cons and snobbery and also unexpected kindness, in addition to straight up nonsense with the wish lists that somehow replaced waiting lists, while talking about the real hierarchy behind the mahogany counters and velvet ropes. And as far as that goes, please smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into this video that we're reviewing at Chronosapien.
Right away to find out. So first, we're gonna try to go into Bregei. It should be okay. Let's see what happens. As you might know, Bregei is not a healthy brand right now. That does not mean that it is not a prestigious brand anymore.
Bonjour madame. Merci.
Comment je peux vous aider?
Bon, on voulait faire un petit tour et regarder.
Nous avons une exposition autour de 250 ans de la maison. C'est une exposition qui va durer
This is kind of funny how
fin
they're doing
décembre.
this.
Ça retrace toute une histoire de Bregei et donc bien sûr vous êtes les bienvenus pour
But I mean, hey, it makes sense. You want to leave some anonymity to the person that works at the store.
So inside I found extremely haute horlogerie timepieces, which were breathtakingly nice. And I was, of course, even invited to try them on. I couldn't film inside, I'm sorry. Although I have some stolen footage here and there, but I was treated fairly nicely, shown their beautiful watches, and invited to look into their exposition, celebrating their 250 years of history. Really nice, and if you enjoy horology and are in Paris, I truly advise you to go in there. Okay, and now we're going into the big leagues, and we are going to try to go to Patek Philippe, wearing a $20 Casio, so going into a store that sells $50,000 and $100,000 watches with a $20 watch. Let's see what happens. Patek Philippe was where I was the most afraid that I would even not be let in, but that ended up to be totally unfounded. It is the only boutique where you have kind of a reception thing where there's a really knowledgeable and helpful hostess to receive you, to welcome you, and if there's no seller available, or if you do not have an appointment like was my case, to chat a bit with you and to welcome you to visit their beautiful boutique.
Il y a une histoire comme quoi Sylvester Stallone a vendu la sienne de Patek, on lui en vendra plus. Un truc comme ça. Ah ouais.
Of course, as you can expect, the boutique was beautiful. There was mahogany all over. You could really feel that this was a high luxury boutique. If I were to compare with Bregei, Bregei was very much oriented to the timepieces. Patek Philippe was very much oriented towards the experience. Everything was luxurious, everything was nice. So I was invited to look around, and the people were even apologetic that as I had no appointment, there was no salesperson to discuss with me.
Ah, vous voulez les essayer?
C'est possible ou pas?
C'est possible, il faut juste que je vois si un conseiller est disponible ou pas.
Ok.
But in the end, they managed to snug me in and I could discuss with a salesperson who had been a Patek Philippe watchmaker before, and that was really a nice experience. The person was extremely helpful, extremely nice, and neither him nor the lady nor anybody in the boutique were snobbish in the least, which was my fear. I pointed out to the fact that I was wearing a $20 watch, and the guy just laughed and he said that it was okay, everybody has to start somewhere. So I could even try extremely nice timepieces, like the stainless steel and even the white gold Aquanaut. And then the salesperson told me that these kind of watches were only for people who had a big history with Patek Philippe, so you cannot just go and try and buy one of these even if you've got the money, and you cannot even get in a watch list for these. They're just for people who have built history with them. But even by saying these quite pretentious statement, he wasn't pretentious at all, he was just stating a fact, sadly. But there you go. I was even offered high quality coffee, and even the little sugars that they had were decorated with the Patek Philippe insignia, and that was extremely classy. Once again, in this Patek Philippe boutique, everything is about the experience. And even though you're buying or not, you're being offering the best experience there. Okay, so that was actually quite amazing. I was really well received. There was a hostess which was very knowledgeable. They showed us everything. It was quite amazing. And the people were extremely friendly, something that I wasn't really expecting at all. I was served coffee, everything. It was quite amazing. And I even got a little bag with a little catalog on it. So really, guys, if you are close to a Patek Philippe dealership, go ahead, get in. At least here in Paris, they're actually quite amazing. Okay, and now the big leagues. We are going into Rolex. Will they let us in? I know that this Rolex is especially picky, so I am going to say this is the ultimate test. Let's go. I wish I could say the experience was the best at the Rolex boutique. It wasn't at all. The salesperson had pretty much nothing to sell, as he told me, and he was a bit haggard by, I believe, the fact that he had actually nothing to sell. Of course, I know I'm not his clientele, and he could tell that right away, of course. I was let in, and that was my first victory, but then inside the boutique, it was pretty much as though I didn't exist. I really wanted to try the Land Dweller, but he told me that he wasn't allowed to take it out for me to try it on. It was just there on display, as though it was the Holy Grail or something.
Land Dweller, on l'a, mais uniquement, on ne peut pas les essayer. Ouais, en export. Ah, on ne peut pas les voir. Alors, on pouvait les voir, mais pas les essayer, malheureusement, parce que c'est les seules pièces qu'on a. Je sais pas combien de temps on va les garder.
But I did manage to try something. I managed to try the Sky Dweller, which is, according to me, one of their nicest watches, and you could see that this person was really worried that I was manipulating the watch a bit.
Ah d'accord, là c'est la date. Je sais pas ce que c'est.
On évite, hein, mais bon.
Maybe it was reserved for somebody else, quite possibly. But hey, there you go. I was offered no coffee here. I couldn't say that the seller was disdainful. I think that he was only a little bit tired and bummed out that he actually had nothing to sell.
Well, hold up. Let's pause right there, because in this moment exactly, this is why the watch culture is so divided. Look at how Patek practically rolled out the red carpet for this gentleman and offered him coffee, gave him a tour, and even with his $20 Casio on his wrist. Then compare that with Rolex guarding the Sky Dweller like it's the last horological artifact on Earth. And with this contrast and everything, some brands, they sell heritage and experience, and others sell scarcity and the idea of exclusivity. And even when there's nothing actually available. And trust me, this shapes how collectors behave, how the market inflates, and why people are starting to call out Rolex's whole system. All right, back to the react sheet.
And a seller who has nothing to sell means that he's not making pretty much any commissions. So I can understand that he's a bit bummed out. And he told us a very interesting fact that maybe you guys know. There's no waiting list anymore. Now there's wish lists. Which means that you'll be counted into the wait list only if somebody drops out from there. Which is,
Wow.
Come on, we are really into the realm of fantasy here. Rolex really need to pull their shit together. They're not Patek Philippe, they're not Audemars Piguet. And I really think that all of these huge YouTubers who are sucking up to Rolex are making this situation even worse.
And well, there you have it. 3 luxury giants, 3 totally different worlds, and one $20 Casio, proving that confidence gets you through almost any door. Patek flexed their hospitality, Bregei developed pure horological passion, and Rolex reminded us, why the half of the community is fed up with lists, gatekeeping, and empty display cases. And here's a takeaway summary. Your watch doesn't define your access. Your attitude does. And this whole journey showcases exactly why the watch world needs more honesty and fewer smoke and mirrors games. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me your wildest boutique experience.